Hello， 大家好，我是亚洲老大的 Hugh。新加坡最为人所知的就是它的低犯罪率和它的干净的城市。你也可能听说过，新加坡拥有非常严格的法律制度。那到底有多严格呢？新加坡人民对自己国家的法律制度到底有多了解呢？让我们来进行访问吧。
As a local, how would you describe Singapore to those who haven't visited Singapore?
Must visit.
A must visit. Yeah, why would you say so?
I think Singapore is the closest you can get to utopia.
Small, clean city where most things run almost perfectly.
I guess it's like one of the most safest place. Singapore is like has low crime rates and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably the safest to stay here, live here.
We actually have a list of rules and regulations that Singapore has that maybe for you it might be normal, but for the outside world it would be like weird or funny. So can we just go through this list with you and see if it's 100% true?
All right.
Yeah. Selling gum is illegal and the punishment is up to 2 years in prison or $100,000 fine. Is this true or
Yeah,
false?
it is true. I actually disagree with that because I like gum, you know, and then for me, if I finish it right, there's no sweet anymore, I will throw to the bin.
Yeah, gum is not allowed in Singapore.
Oh really? Like you
Yeah.
can't chew it?
You can't at all. Like you cannot even bring it into the country. I think people started sticking them on the train doors.
Oh, I see.
So like when there was one time where it couldn't close.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I was warned when I first came here. Anyway, I'm not a big chewing gum fan anyway. But yeah, I mean, it can cause so much of unnecessary hygiene issues. So, and I think most people can live without chewing gums.
So singing in public is illegal and can get you up to 3 months in prison. Is this true or false?
I don't think it's true.
You don't think it's true?
Yeah. I
Alright.
sing in public all the time.
I'm not sure, but it sounds very untrue. I personally like to sing in public and I don't get fined.
There was a person, going around like singing loudly. I think that would be quite annoying. I do think it's probably a very good rule to have because, when you're in public, I don't think you should be causing any sort of like nuisance to, other people around you.
So as long as you have the permit, you can actually perform on the streets. If not, then it's illegal. So you have to go for an audition to get this license thing. Because there's a lot of police officers roaming about the streets of Singapore. So as long as they see you performing without a permit, right, then they will approach you, and that's how you actually get caught.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's actually quite serious. Connecting to another person's Wi-Fi can get you a 10,000 fine or a 3 years in prison.
Oh, really? That's actually too much.
Yeah.
That's actually too much. Wasting your life 3 years because of stealing Wi-Fi? Come on.
I think it's true.
Yeah, you think
I
it's
also
true?
feel that other people should not connect to my Wi-Fi.
But don't you think that $10,000 is a bit too much?
I mean, if you don't want others to connect to your Wi-Fi, I think it's a good price.
Well, I guess someone's Wi-Fi is their property, right? So if you are connecting to the Wi-Fi without their permission, it's kind of like stealing their property. And sometimes if you connect to someone's Wi-Fi, I think you can possibly hack into the person's system.
So another one is not flushing a public toilet is illegal and can get you a $150 fine. Is this true or false?
$150, eh? I think so, it may be true.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Sounds
true.
very possible here in Singapore, yeah.
It's very uncomfortable to see others people's poo. So yeah, I agree with it. No.
Okay, say you're out shopping and you need to use the loo, and then you go in and someone's not flushed it. That's so annoying. That's probably the only thing that you can do. Once you've used the bathroom, it's not asking for much.
yeah.
It doesn't take up your time.
Maybe it's true, but I don't think it's being enforced.
Uh,
How would you enforce it anyway?
There is the UDD, the detector.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah.
How do they know who's using the toilet?
Like for example, like when you don't flush, there
Yeah.
is urine and then the doors will close. Some elevators, some lifts will have it.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Walking around your house naked can get you a fine of $1,000. Is this true?
Yeah, that's actually true. I
Yeah.
actually heard of it before.
Have you ever gotten caught?
No, of course not.
I think there were a couple of cases of a guy who was happily exhibiting himself knowing that his neighbor could peer in, I think.
I see.
I think I would also rather slap the fine on the fella because I don't think I want to see his.
I mean, if it is your own home, I feel like if you're not causing any disturbance to anyone else, like your neighbors or, you know, and especially if you live by yourself, I don't see how that's a huge deal.
How strictly are these laws enforced? Have you ever encountered someone that got a fine?
I have a few friends who've been fined for maybe things like jaywalking, but none of these that you listed down. When you want to be number one, you have to have rules. So I think it's perfectly fine for Singapore to have these rules.
There's actually a lot of CCTVs around Singapore, and there's a lot of signs everywhere like littering, how much you get fined. Even jaywalking actually is illegal. So there was actually once my friend, he jaywalked once, and then I think a few days later he received a letter from the police. So the CCTV actually, like monitors everyone.
It kind of works here, and most of these, frankly, they don't make me any better or worse with or without them. So why would I want anyone to worry about whether I'm peeing illegally not to get a fine?
And this also sends out like a very clear message to the rest of the world that, you know, it's a great country, but, you know, if you want to enjoy it, you need to stick to like a few rules and make sure that you understand that it's for everyone else's like advantage.
Foreigners visiting Singapore for the first time might not be aware of these rules. So do you think these rules should apply equally to both locals and foreigners?
Definitely, because I think that they should respect our rules and regulations.
I don't think a policeman will go up to a foreigner chewing gum and say, you just committed a crime, I'm going to slam a fine.
I mean, it should be applied to all, but if someone admits not knowing them, then I think it's fine to be a bit lenient with them first time round.
What would you advise to those who want to visit Singapore?
The perception about it being strict and all is, just forget about it. I mean, you are in a civil society, you have to just be civil, otherwise it's a fun place. Just come here, it's a fantastic place.
Probably read up before you arrive. I think that's probably like the first thing that you should do if you're planning a visit to the country. Be a little mindful of what you do in public.
I guess like anyone who's visiting a different country, like not even just Singapore, they should be updated about the rules and laws there. And they should have like a consciousness that they're going to another country and they should respect that.
感谢我们的受访者分享他们的答案。那你觉得其他国家是否可以效仿新加坡的法律制度呢？请留言分享你的想法。如果想要了解更多亚洲的独特见解，那就别忘了订阅我们的频道。谢谢收看，请记得求知若渴。